shivering in half light. Can't quite find your face. Soft breath, endless space. Your name just out of reach. Something in the silence. Hands brushing away, falling. Echoes hold the night. Almost say what I mean. Hold you when I can't speak. Trace hope on your skin. You feel close enough. Everything's going on and danger In my dreams, I'm still brave enough to love you. All the words I lost feel warm and true. Fear never finds me, only you. You say my name when all goodbye. Now
Streetlight bleeds on cracked concrete. You press against the cold incomplete. One ear twitching at my tread. Two ribs rising, barely fed. 3 steps closer through the downpour. 4 walls waiting past this door. The wind holds its breath as I reach. And now your heart beats next to mine. Every shiver turns to time. No more wandering in the gray. You are known in every way. 5 towels dry your matted fur. 6 hours watching you stir. 7 breaths steady on the floor. 8 dreams knocking at the door. 9 mornings seeing you sit tall. 10 times you didn't flinch at all. The dawn spills gold across the sill. Now your heart beats next to mine. Every shiver turns to time. No more shadows in your stare. You got warmth beneath your chain. 12 meals shared in patient rain. 13 nights you rest your head. 14 reasons hope's not dead. Now your heart beats next to mine. Every shiver turns to time. No more counting wounds of fears. You are home and so am I here. And so street lamp flickers on wet stone. You curl beneath a broken phone. One paw lifted, barely there. 2 ribs showing through your hair. 3 steps closer through the pour. 4 walls waiting by the door. The thunder hushes as I knew. Now your heart beats next to mine. Every tremble turns to time. No more wandering alone. You are seen. You're not unknown. 5 towels wrapped around your frame. sink in the mud tonight. First soak through a street light. One whimper cuts the pouring air. Two eyes wide with silent prayer. 3 blocks walked with shaking hands. 4 walls rise where kindness stands. The storm outside begins to bend. Now your breath matches mine. Every shiver turns to light. No more hiding in the cold. You are safe here, worth more than gold. 5 bandages, 6 soft words. 7 hours till morning stirred. 8 breaths steady on the floor. 9 dreams knocking at the door. 10 heartbeats sink without a sound. 11 scars start healing down. The dark retreats from window glass. Now your breath matches mine. Every shiver turns to light. No more trembling in the rain. You're the hope I lost and found again. 12 steps taken on your own. 13 seeds and thawing stone. 14 dawns and you look back. Street lamp flickers on wet stone. You curl beneath a broken phone. 1 paw lifted, barely there. 2 ribs showing through your hair. 3 steps closer through the pour. 4 walls waiting by the door. The thunder hushes as I kneel. Now your heart beats next to mine. Every tremble turns to time. No more wandering alone. You are seen, you're not ungone. 5 towels wrapped around your frame. 6 hours calling out your name. 7 breaths slow on the mat. 8 dreams where you don't look back. 9 days watching you sit tall. 10 times you didn't flinch at all. The window glows with morning's trace. Now your heart beats next to mine. Every tremble turns to time. No more shadows in your eyes. You've got sunshine in your cry. 11 walks without a leash. 12 meals shared in patient peace. 13 nights you nudge my hand. 14 reasons I still stand. Now your heart beats next to mine. Every tremble turns to time. No more counting wounds or fears. You are home and so am I here. Mud streak fur against cold stone. Eyes like embers barely shone. You didn't flinch when I drew near. Just held your breath and disappeared. I wrapped you soft in borrowed thread. Your heartbeat whispered, don't let go. Now you run where the wind blows free. No more chains, no empty cages. Every scar you carry sings of how the lost can learn to breathe again. Weeks of quiet, slow repair, stitches fading, trust laid bare. You'd watch my hands with wary grace, then nudge my palm, a timid trace. One dawn you stood without a sound and turned your face towards solid ground. Now you run where streetlight bleeds on cracked concrete. You press against the cold incomplete. One ear twitching at my tread, two ribs rising barely fed. 3 steps closer through the downpour, 4 walls waiting past this door. The wind holds its breath as I reach. Now your heart beats next to mine. Every shiver turns to time. No more wandering in the gray. You are known in every way. 5 towels dry your matted fur, 6 hours watching you stir, 7 breaths steady on the floor, 8 dreams knocking at the door, 9 mornings seeing you sit tall, 10 times you didn't flinch at all. The dawn spills gold across the sill. Now your heart beats next to mine. Every shiver turns to time. No more shadows in your stare. You got warmth beneath your hair. 11 walls without a chain, 12 meals shared in patient rain, 13 nights you rest your head, 14
can't quite find your face. Soft breath, endless space, your name just out of reach. Something in the silence, hands brushing away, falling. Echoes hold the night, almost say what I mean. Hold you when I can't speak, trace hope on your skin. You feel close in a quiet. Everything's kind, calm and dangerous. In my dreams, I'm still brave enough to love you. All the words I lost feel warm and true. Fear never finds me, only you. You say my name when no goodbye. In that world we never lie. Morning breaks, edges around you. Light and I watch you fade. Day pulls you away too soon. Wait for me tonight. Just this hush remains. Eyes close, you breathe me. Almost honest, always almost. In my dreams, I'm still brave enough to love you. All the words I lost feel warm and true. Fear never finds me, only you. You say my name, we know goodbye. In that world we never lie. Rising like a tide, lie to you be lost. Every night I run back to you.
Street lamp flickers on wet stone. You curl beneath a broken phone. One paw lifted, barely there. Two ribs showing through your hair. Three steps closer through the pour. Four walls waiting by the door. The